My name is Barbara Fuller. Good afternoon. As chair of the board, I welcome you to this virtual December 21st, 2021 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners. Our communications manager, Emily Kaiser, will now describe how our virtual meetings operate, how to access the agenda and agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Emily?
Thanks, Commissioner. So if you'd like to make public comment during the public comment portion of this meeting, we will provide instructions and prompt you at the appropriate time in the agenda to virtually raise your hand. This can be done through your computer or your touch-tone phone. The chat feature on this Zoom meeting is available only as technical support for users on their computer or smartphone. If you're experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and I will help you troubleshoot. If you are a commissioner or a staff member experiencing issues, please contact the IT help desk for assistance. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded. A link to the video we posted to wcroads.org in the next day or two. Today's meeting agenda is also posted to wcroads.org, and there's a link available in the chat if you're joining us from your computer. Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you, Emily. I now call this meeting to order and ask if Aaron will please call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Barb Fuller, participating remotely from Scioto Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Good afternoon. I'm Roderick Green, appearing remotely from Scioto Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Doug Fuller is present and participating remotely from Scioto Township, Michigan.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Good afternoon, Gloria Yamas, reporting virtually from Scioto Township in Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Good afternoon. I am attending remotely from Scioto Township, Washtenaw County.
Managing Director Cheryl Siddle.
Present.
Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Matt McDonald.
Present.
Director of Operations Jim Harmon.
Present.
Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman.
Here.
Thank you, Aaron. At this time, I ask that we observe a moment of silence to honor the memory of Tom Bruff, who recently passed away. Tom was a 25-year employee at SEMCOG and most recently manager of transportation planning and programming at SEMCOG. Thank you. At this time, I would appreciate a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. Any additions, deletions, changes? Hearing none. All those in favor when Aaron calls your name?
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is acceptance of the meeting minutes from December 7th, 2021, appearing on pages 3 through 13 of the board packet. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I move acceptance of the board minutes of December 7th, 2021 as presented.
Support.
Any discussion, changes, deletions, amendments to the minutes of December 7th? Hearing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Emily, do we have anyone who wishes to address the board?
Thanks, Commissioner. I'm going to just run through how to do it, and then we can ask for virtual raised hands.
Thank you.
So no problem. If you're viewing the meeting on your computer, you want to first make sure to click join audio, and then you want to raise your hand virtually by clicking the participants or reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then the raised hand button. If you dial into the meeting from your touch tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. I will unmute participants with raised hands one at a time, and I will announce your username or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments.
Are there any hands raised at this time?
At this time, there are no hands raised.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda are written communications appearing on page 14 through 18 of the board meeting packet. Is there anything there that people wish to draw our attention to or comment about? Seeing none, there was no public comment, so we will bypass the follow-up to the comments that didn't occur. Next item is new business. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 4. The backup on those items appear on pages 19 through 38. May I have a motion?
You may.
Is there a second?
Support.
Thank
Support.
you. Moved and seconded. All those in favor, Aaron, if you would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on our agenda are reports. County commissioners, do we have any commissioners with us today? Emily, I don't see any.
I don't know, at this time we do not.
All right, we'll move right on then to report of the road commissioners. Commissioner Yamas, anything to report?
Yes. On 12/7, I attended the Legal Issues and Road Funding 101 conference in Mount Pleasant. And on 12/8, I participated in the chat with the commissioners. On December 10th, I reviewed the board packets for the December 7th meeting and reviewed the closed meeting minutes of 11/6. And I watched the Washtenaw County Road Commission meeting on YouTube. On 12/10 and 16, I forwarded communication to Managing Director Cheryl Soderholm after much conversation. On 12/17 and 12/10, I also reviewed the legislative reviews from the CRA, which were great. 2 of our top budget proposals were approved. Legislation is over for the state of Michigan, thank goodness. And on 12/10, CRA top legislative priorities cleared the Senate. So that is all that I have. Thank you.
Thank
And I
you.
will forward that information.
Thank you. I'm sure Erin will appreciate that when she has to draft up the minutes. Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Doug Fuller would like to report that on the 8th of the month, I was supposed to go to a McChrysop meeting in Mount Pleasant and was unable to do that because of the snow conditions on M52 and I-96. So I turned around and came home. So I did not attend the McChrysop normal board meeting. That's a negative, but that's what I did.
That's what you didn't do.
There you go.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes. On December 15th, I attended the chat with a commissioner, and we had 2 people attend. And on December 14th, I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission. The Parks Commission awarded a service contract in the amount of $3,797,000 to Phoenix Contractors Incorporated for the Stabler Farm Park multipurpose building and site construction. This is a project that I support because it can provide healthy, fun, and productivity. This award will help determine Stabler Farm County Park's future amenities and recreational and educational opportunities, which will highlight Washtenaw County's rich agricultural heritage. The plan defines an overall vision for the park, sets goals and objectives to guide the physical development, and establishes development phases. Through the planning process, park staff sought stakeholders and public input to help develop the goals, general plan concepts, and desired recreational amenities. The plan is intended to be flexible in order to adapt to changing community needs and funding sources. The categories of things people can be involved in are archery, blacksmithing, boats and trailers, broom, craft, and many others. It is my intention as one of the committee members of the Stabler Farm County Parks Folk School is to help the residents of the eastern part of Washtenaw County become involved and get to know the wonderful cultural activities that our forefathers handed down to the next generation, but it has been lost or missing in our society today. I believe these types of activities can enhance family time and create confidence in individuals looking for creative ways of expressing themselves. If you want to know more about the Michigan Folk School at the Stabler Farm Park, you can go to their website, www.mifolkschool.com, and explore the site. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Green.
Thank you. I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Next is my report, and on December 7th, I attended the second of 3 Washtenaw County Equity Conversations. It was held at the Community Family Life Center on South Harris in Ypsilanti. On December 15th, I attended the third and final of the Washtenaw County Equity Conversations. This particular session was held at the Christian Love Fellowship Church on Stamford Road in Superior Township. I'd like to also express my appreciation to those in our organization who have become fully vaccinated and boosted, and also to commend those of you who have voluntarily reported positive COVID tests, exposure to others who have a positive COVID test. We really appreciate everyone maintaining vigilance and respectful, safe precautions for their coworkers. It's how we're going to have to function moving forward. And I just want to express my appreciation to all of the folks within the Road Commission family who are taking every precaution possible. Next, we have the Washtenaw County Road Commission updates and reports. I will turn this section over to Cheryl.
Commissioner, I'll start by asking if anybody has any questions. We had a variety of reports in your board packet this time. All right, I really don't have too much to share today. Obviously, the big discussion point we already talked about at the working session this morning. Staff will be working on a plan with respect to vaccines to comply with the OSHA standard that was recently put back into effect. So please stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I am more than happy to hand it over to staff. Dan, would you like to lead us off today?
Sure. Thanks, Cheryl. So as far as finance, this is a busy time of year for us. We are trying to finalize everything for 2021, archiving things, setting things up for 2022. So really we're scrambling. We're trying to get invoices paid. We had our last payroll of 2021 that we processed. So now we're working on monthly, quarterly, year-end reports, W-2s, you name it. So always a busy time. And of course, we have the audit at the end of January. So really just trying to get everything in order and get ready for that. So We're also working on our final township billings. We've gotten a majority of those out, and we're trying to finalize those for the year, as well as other year-end receivable invoices that we're sending out. With regards to IT, Chris provided me some great information on our help desk. Hopefully you're aware of that. I think most of you have used the help desk. That just allows our users to communicate with IT and allows us to track any needs as far as with computers, network, and so on. So in 2021, we had 1,253 help desk tickets that were submitted. So that's, I think, quite a staggering number. And that's up about 27% from the previous year. And Josh increased his ticket handling by 220%, which is awesome. And that allowed actually Chris, his ticket handling went down about 45%. And why is that significant? So Josh is able to handle more and more of these tickets, and that kind of frees Chris's time for projects like the boardroom or our team's phone system, you know, all the various projects that we're working on. So, you know, Josh has just been doing an outstanding job as far as supporting the organization and all the users. Also, the closure rate, it dropped about 20% from the previous year, and we're averaging about 1.34 days. So someone submits a ticket in about 1.34 days. We are closing that, or that's about 32 hours, which I think is great as well. A lot of Chris does reports for me every week, and a lot of it is, you know, in hours and not days. So I think that that's showing that IT is being responsive to all the users' needs. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions. Okay, thank you.
Appreciate that. Jim, would you like to share what's going on in operations right now? Thankfully, we're on a brief pause, weather-wise anyways.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The operations staff report for the period of November 29th through December 12th can be found in your packet, beginning on page 40 and concluding on page 46. I'm happy to answer any questions based on the information that's provided in the packet for you. Easy. With regard to winter, we do have a little break in the action that reflects well on our end of year budget. Expenditures are down as a result. In terms of where we're at relative to the norm, we're probably about 60% of where we would typically be. We certainly have winters that very severe months of November and December, and we've had some very mild ones as well. So right now we're about 60% of average, I would say. We've applied almost 2,800 tons of salt. Again, that's about 60% of average for that 2-month period. And we'll certainly take it. We're able to focus on non-winter activities, whether that's cable guardrail repairs and guardrail repairs on the state trunk line system, surface maintenance, shoulder maintenance, tree cutting, really focusing on a lot of things that otherwise would be less possible if the ground was severely frozen and we had a lot of snow cover and our attention was focusing on winter maintenance primarily. So staying very busy, very productive. There's a lot of planning and development going on right now for next year's construction season. We have a very robust season again, and we're delighted to have that before us. Looking forward to that program. And I also want to extend my gratitude to the board for the approval of the local matching program under the consent agenda item. That is absolutely critical for fostering the ongoing partnership with our township partners. So thank you very much. And you may notice many of the county millage signs coming down here at the conclusion of this season. Staff are going around the county and taking those signs down at the end of year, putting those in storage so they're ready to be posted for all the projects that we'll be doing next year.
Commissioner McCollum, do you have a question?
No, just a statement that the township, Ypsilanti Township was able to put the information about the snow removal policy on their site, and they put a little bit more in the quarterly newsletter that we receive from them that has our ordinances and things like that in it. We receive a newsletter booklet. So that request that I made, that they put it in there, they thought it was a good idea. So hopefully, and I post it too, and talk about it at the neighborhood meetings. So hopefully that helps at least with, you know, some of the questions and wondering about how the snow, you know, the procedure for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. The more that we can educate people on what our priority routes are, how the hierarchy, I think the better off we all are as an organization. And then certainly things like, you know, the importance of removing vehicles from the roadway if at all possible. That allows us to get in and do our jobs not only easier, but also better after a winter event. So the more we can push that out, that is much appreciated. Jim, did you have anything else to finish up? All right, well, I would like to have a special call out to Jim. I know he has been short-staffed for the last several months. He's had people off for a variety of reasons, all of them legitimate, and we certainly support people being off for a variety of reasons. And we, you know, just basically pick up the slack while they're gone and get it done. But it does take a little extra work, and that has pretty much fallen to Jim over the last couple of months. We are very pleased that Tiffany, our operations clerk, will be coming back to the office in January. She has been off with her family, having just had a second child. So we're happy for her, glad she had some time at home, but we are very much looking forward to her coming back. But a special shout out to Jim. He really has had his hands full of late, and he's done an excellent job. And but I know he, as much as anybody else, is going to be quite happy when he's back to full staff as well. So thank you, Jim. Last but not least, Matt.
Yes, good afternoon. I just wanted to provide a quick update on the Liberty Road Bridge over Mill Creek in Lyman Township. I wanted to give you an update. The Lyman Township Board had met on the 13th last Monday, and they took up that resolution of support for the bridge bundling project. Unfortunately, it was turned down. The resolution failed. It was a 2-3 vote, but I did talk with Cheryl, and we thought it appropriate to send both our resolution of support and the motion that failed from Lyman Township to MDOT, and specifically asking, as the bridge owner, that the bridge project remain in the bridge bundle. I don't expect to hear back an affirmative on that, but I did want to make you aware that did take place. Any questions on that? Okay, that's all I really had. We've got more to talk about coming up about Pontiac Trail North Territorial here.
Matt, looks like Commissioner McCollum has her hand up.
Oh, it wasn't a question about what you just said, Matt, but I just want to say that on Ecorse Road and US 12, there was a light pole that was, I guess, being placed in. It wasn't completed, and then the strong winds came, and the pole almost fell. It looked like it was going to fall, and I called, but by the time I called, the road commission had already taken care of it, and the fire company was out there to secure it. So I just want to thank the team for such quick follow through on that because it was kind of scary to see that. I don't know if it was really going to fall, but it sure did look like it. And a lot of people called me about it. So I was able to tell them that, yes, it has been taken care of. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner McCollum. That did come in quite quickly, and the team responded. In fact, that pole that was installed by a DT community lighting contractor. So we were able to get a hold of them, and certainly they responded quickly. So that was very a bit unnerving driving by and seeing that, certainly. But they did correct that and continue to make progress on those street lights.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fuller?
Thank you, Cheryl. Matt, can you tell us how those calls of concern came in? Did they use C-Click Fix? Did they call on the phone? How were you alerted?
I wasn't actually the one that got alerted. Michelle Ford, our project manager, who has done a phenomenal job in managing that project. It was a massive undertaking, but she does a great job. She made me aware of the communication. I saw the pictures. I think we got attached pictures, so it may have been an email. But that's how I came to know of it, and she responded very quickly. So
I'm just
I can
always
follow up.
interested. I'm just always interested in how the public, when there's a emergency, so to speak, or an urgent situation, what's their first instinct about reaching out to us? Do they dial 911 and a dispatcher puts them through to us, or do they? So I would appreciate that kind of information if it's available in the future.
Sure, we can follow that one up. That one in particular, we can get that information. I'll pass it along.
Okay. Thank you.
So through the chair, Barb, just real
Commissioner?
quick. Yeah. I was driving that e-course M17 through there and showing it off to my sister as it's coming. It's just so wonderful to have that done. It's just such great work, and it looks so good, and it's so much safer. And I see that's almost complete, right? If not complete, it just looks great. I just want to reiterate that again. That whole area looks wonderful. Thanks for the good work there.
Well, thank you. We're certainly working to close it out for the season. There's going to be more work to come in the spring. There's going to be restoration. There'll be several items, and we want to make sure we're working very cooperatively with the township on, making sure we stay within project budget. But if there's a little left over, what are their high priorities as far as work that could be accomplished within that $8 million budget.
Great. It's just so much safer. I used to traverse that often and be kind of wary, looking for pedestrians, looking for other cars, and it's so much safer. The engineering of how that flows is so much better.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. A lot of effort went into that. It was very cooperative between the township, MDOT, and we had a little input as well. And MDOT has one less bridge to take care of after all.
Happy to help them out with that anytime. Commissioner Fuller, that's it on behalf of staff.
All right. At this time, I would entertain a motion to have the board meet in closed session under Section 8D of the Open Meetings Act to consider the acquisition of right-of-way for parcels 7, 10, 11, and 12 of the Pontiac Trail at North Territorial Road project.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. All those in favor, Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Emily, if you would now please explain how this closed session works, particularly with folks from the public.
Thanks, Commissioner. Yep, so I'm going to pause the recording in just a second, And I will, if you are not a road commissioner or a designated staff member, I'll move you to the virtual waiting room. If you'd like to be returned to the open session of the meeting once we've completed the closed session, you can just remain in that virtual waiting room, and then I will readmit you once the closed session has been completed. All right, it looks like we're good to go. I've admitted those who are sitting in the virtual waiting room, and the recording is resumed. So,
All right, thank you. Seeing no further business to come before this board, I just want to make notation of a couple of things. Our next meeting will be on January 4th in the year 2022. 1 o'clock, we have a board meeting. Commissioners, road commissioners will be present in person. A limited number of guests will be allowed in the boardroom in person, a limited number, and a remote option will remain available for members of the public. However, the road commissioners by law will be required, Open Meetings Act will be required to be physically present that day for that meeting. We still have our chat sessions that occur virtually every Wednesday from noon to 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, it's my turn to be present for the chat. And on December 29th, it's Commissioner Doug Fuller's turn to be present during the chat. And I would encourage all of you to consult the schedules that we adopted on December 7th for next year's meetings, working sessions, and chats, so that you know when you're up. With no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
move.
I think we
Support.
had Commissioner Green and Commissioner McCullum. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Have a safe and happy holiday season, everybody. We'll see you next year.
Thank you.